I want to start making videos by expressing very clearly that I'm very concerned and feeling very rebellious to the idea that the bearing testimony of Jesus Christ is being more and more confined. That the idea of Christianity is being put under arrest in some way, and I've been reading the first two chapters in the New Testament, and I have two main thoughts have come up to my mind in those two chapters. The first chapter talks about Jesus Christ, who came from the genealogy of David, and that to me is a reality or an expression of how Christ came from a lineage of men who actually did not meet the correct standards all the time. And I believe some others were quite disobedient. And that gives me hope that when the scriptures teach that we all can become sons of God and be part of his lineage or co-inheritors with him, he's really meaning it, because he came from the lineage of David. And the other part, Matthew 2, I felt very impressed, impressed by the verse where the wise men followed the star in the sky. The star was telling them where to go to find Jesus. In our days, we may not have a literal star to where we can find Jesus to go and worship him and share a bit of gold or the other gifts that the wise men gave. But we actually can have a testimony of the Holy Ghost that can guide us towards heaven, towards the celestial kingdom. And I want to support the greatest part of my audience, if I'll ever have any audience, will be Americans. And I want to give support to that idea of Americans wanting to have Christian values as the star in heaven, as well as the beams of light that come from the influence of the Holy Ghost. You're doing the right thing, and I'm going to support you in that sense, whatsoever the cost, even. And I'm really grateful that there's a really big part of Americans, even a majority, I think, that actually respect the idea of Jesus Christ and have somewhat the testimony of the reality of the values of Christianity. And that's something very important, I believe. So I want to end this video by testifying that God exists, because when I was 14, I prayed and asked God if he was real. And he testified to me that he was real. Through the power of the Holy Ghost, I felt his presence for a few days, 3 days exactly, but mostly for half an hour. I was 14. It was the year 2005. It was March. And I can bear testimony that when I prayed and asked for the forgiveness of my sins, he really showed himself to me, and he bore testimony. And I have these negative thoughts of thinking what is going to be of my future. If you're in a country like Spain that does not have that many opportunities, but I rebel against that idea. I rebel against the idea of not being free to say what I think, and of not being free to express my freedom of religion, although this is not as much under persecution now in Spain, but it could be at some point. I don't want to follow into the temptation of not thinking of God because I'm stressed. And I just want to share that and give my strength to my American friends and all those who actually have a pure love that will not be deceived in the last days. And I hope I am counted among those who will not be deceived. And I share all these things with all my faith and my love, hoping we will be able to build a community strong enough to resist whatever comes against our way of thinking, and how we deeply feel we truly deserve to be free. So thank you for listening, and I'll be there for more videos. Thank you very much for listening.